Think ancient people just worked, ate, and slept? Wrong. Turns out humans have always needed fun. And ancient entertainment? It's absolutely wild. Thousands of years ago, people were gambling. Literally. Ancient Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, they all played dice games. But here's the thing. Some archaeologists found loaded dice rigged to land on specific numbers. The Romans loved dice so much they made it illegal. Didn't work. Board games too. Mesopotamians played senet. Looks like checkers, but it was part gambling, part spiritual ritual. Winning meant you might go to the afterlife. Ancient Olympics weren't just athletic competition. It was entertainment theater. Thousands of people showed up. Why? Because watching people nearly die was entertaining. Wrestling, running, javelin throwing, all brutal, and all packed stadiums. Hunting was also sport. Kings and nobles didn't hunt for food. They hunted for entertainment. Royal hunting trips lasted months. Thousands of animals were killed just for fun. Ancient Greeks invented theater, but it wasn't Shakespeare. Greek comedies were crude. Dirty jokes, slapstick, physical humor. Actors wore padding to make exaggerated body shapes. The audience went crazy. Rome had mime, silent comedy, like Charlie Chaplin 2,000 years early, except sometimes they acted out battle scenes to the death. Greeks also had satire plays. Writers made fun of politicians, gods, and famous people. Sound familiar? Music was everywhere. Parties, festivals, religious ceremonies. Lyres, harps, flutes, drums. Ancients had it all. Egypt had concerts. Literally, people paid to watch musicians perform. Dancing was huge too. Street performers, professional dancers, acrobats. In China, court musicians performed for emperors. Sometimes orchestras had 100+ instruments. Imagine that production value 2,000 years ago. But here's where it gets dark. The Romans didn't just watch sports. They watched gladiators kill each other, in arenas, thousands of times a year. Executions were public entertainment too. Criminals were literally executed as part of the show. Crucifixion, drowning, being eaten by animals. Kids watched this. Wild animal hunts were a thing. Lions, bears, rhinos imported from Africa, released into arenas. Prisoners hunted them, usually didn't survive. When they weren't killing people for fun, they partied. Roman banquets lasted hours. Multiple courses, wine, entertainment. Acrobats performed between courses. Greece had symposiums, male-only drinking parties. They discussed philosophy while getting drunk. Sometimes it turned into competitions. Drinking contests, singing contests, debate contests. Egypt had festivals, religious celebrations with public partying, free food, music, dancing for days. Similar to modern festivals, actually. Before Netflix, there was storytelling. Professional storytellers traveled from town to town. They told stories from mythology, history, folklore. People gathered to listen. Ancient Egyptians had written jokes. Papyri with punchlines and funny stories survive today. One joke. I want to die, but my wife won't let me. Ancient dark humor. Romans made puns. Bad ones. Really bad ones. Graffiti in Pompeii has jokes carved into walls. Riddles were huge. Vikings had riddle contests. Winners got prizes or status. Losers had varied consequences. Chinese had calligraphy competitions. Pretty much poetry slams, but with brush and ink. Nobility gathered to see who could write the best characters. Ball games existed everywhere. Mesoamerica had the most brutal one. The ball game was a sport and a religious ritual. Sometimes losers were sacrificed. Ancient people had pets, dogs, cats, birds. Rich people had exotic animals. Egyptians loved cats so much they mummified them, literally treated them like royalty. When they died, big funerals. Romans had falconry, training birds to hunt for sport. Nobles spent months training hawks. It was high-status entertainment. Magicians existed back then. Ancient Egypt had magicians. They performed tricks for pharaohs. Cup and ball games, disappearing acts, illusions. Some magic was just chemistry. Priests knew about chemical reactions. They used them in temples to wow people. Fire that appeared from nowhere, smoke from hidden chambers. Audience thought it was real magic. Chariot racing was massive. Rome had racetracks that held 300,000 people. That's like a modern NFL stadium, but bigger. People bet fortunes on races. Riots happened when favorites lost. Fans were insane about it. Horse racing existed in every culture. Persia, China, Arabia, all obsessed. Sometimes kings risked kingdoms on single races. That's dedication to sports. So ancient people weren't boring. They gambled, fought, partied, watched violence, told jokes. Sound familiar? Humans haven't changed. We still want entertainment. We still want competition. We still want to gather and have fun. The methods changed. The desire didn't. Entertainment isn't modern, it's ancient, and it always will be.